Welcome to the road to Wembley. A look back at the excitement of the 93-94 Premier Division playoffs. The Cardiff Devils, already league champions, had dominated all year. The pack was chasing hard, and led by Sheffield, Fife and Nottingham, it promised to be a sensational climax to the end of this exciting season. Well, you join us in Cardiff Ice Rink, where the playoff draw was made. The man on the mic is Ken Taggart, chairman of the EIHA, whilst the man in the snazzy jacket making the draw is chief referee Nico Toman. Overseeing the whole event is the new BIHA chief executive, David Frayne. As you can see, the Cardiff Devils would lead Group A as champions, whilst the Sheffield Steelers top Group B as runners-up in the Premier Division. Two tough groups looked like they were developing. Group A saw Cardiff, together with the Nottingham Panthers, the Durham Wasps and the Whitley Warriors. Some great clashes in line there. As I say, with the Sheffield Steelers were the two Scottish teams, the Fife Flyers and the Murrayfield Racers, and also the Humberside Hawks. The promotion relegation playoff draw was also made. Which teams there would find themselves in the Premier Division? Chief Executive David Frayne was looking forward to some exciting hockey.
Yeah, I think there was some terrific clubs already got into both championship playoffs and the promotion relegation. I think the next 3 weeks are going to be tremendously exciting. One of the things I've been saying about the next 3 weeks, we've got these tremendous playoffs, we've got the Wembley Championships, and we're straight into the top 12 nations in the world playing in Bolzano. Ice hockey in Britain couldn't be at a higher level than it is just now, and I'd like to see that as the stepping stone to staying in Pool A, getting into the Winter Olympics and getting the sport more financially sound.
Well, I'm confident now going into the playoffs, and I'm sure the players are confident, because all the other four teams in the other section we've lost to in the league. And Scotland is a very difficult place to play. I mentioned those three teams in the program earlier on tonight, and we've avoided them, so I had nothing to do with the draw, promise.
And we believe you, John. April the 2nd and the first Saturday of the playoffs, we go to the Sheffield Arena, where Jim Lynch's Fife Flyers travel down to play the Steelers. We join commentator Bob Ballard.
The Steelers pretty invincible on their own ice. It's a very intimidating atmosphere to play in. And also a very big crowd here for the Fife Flyers, not used to this sort of noise and this sort of atmosphere. Ryan Kumar trying to clear from behind the back of his own net. He helped on by Neil Smith. Steelers trying to hold it into the Fife Flyers zone. Les Milley battling in to win it back off Ryan Kumu. Pass coming across from Nemeth, just not able to be controlled by Ron Shudra, and this gives Fife Flyers a chance with a shot on the far side. Ian Robertson, perhaps the net taken off its moorings by a combination of Martin Mackay and Ivan Matulik. Martin Mackay is taking a bit of knock and needs some assistance from the Sheffield Steelers physio. Worrying moment perhaps for the Steelers as Ian Robertson goes in on net. It's actually Ivan Matulik who eventually takes him over. Neil Smith helping him on his way. The rearrangement of the furniture to be done by the linesman. Face-off involving Morrison. Doug Smell goes on the chase. Clearance made by Neil Abel for the Sheffield Steelers. Slid through, great opportunity opening up now for Stephen King, and has he buried it? It's bobbling around. Has it gone over the line? Yes or no? It's difficult to tell from here. No, it's underneath Martin Mackay. Good smothering stop made by the Scots netminder against the shot from Stephen King. Flyers controlling the early stages, and Steelers a bit slow out of the blocks, which can't be said of Bobby Brown chasing forward with Neil Abel. That's Morrison trying to clear in front of net to Steve Nemeth. Here comes Nemeth on the chase, got Ivan Matulik to his right, lets one go from long range, pings around the boards, comes back to Matulik again. Nemeth moving in front of net. Matulik takes down Morrison. Neil Smith. Steelers clear. Shotland ranging in. Here's Nemeth. The opening goal for the Sheffield Steelers, coming 10 minutes and 8 seconds into the first period. And Steve Nemeth opens his account. Another of the Steelers' big match players. It all came from this shot from Neil Abel. The ricochet back to Steve Nemeth, lifts it into the top corner of the net. 1-0 then to the Sheffield Steelers. After a fairly indifferent start, they're a goal up. They're trying to make that advantage even more if they can, to give them something to battle with in Kirkcaldy in 2 weeks' time when the teams meet in Fife. The Steelers will try and break out from their own end. Neil Abel, here's Les Millie. Tim Cranston going on the overlap on the right wing. This is Tommy Plummer from long range. This one go just to test out John McCrone, who drops it, and then Plummer gets involved a little bit of after. But it's a good long-range effort. Just giving John McCrone something to think about. Tim Cranston in the face-off circle. Tends to win the majority of the face-offs when he's involved. Gutsy, determined competitor. He's won that one too. Here's Shudra making room for himself for the shot. Gets the shot away. There's Cranston. Doesn't need the stick. Gets rid of it. Celebrates the second goal for the Sheffield Steelers. And that was all created by good work by Shudra, making some room and time and space for himself, getting the shot away, and Cranston there for the follow-up. 2-0 Steelers. So a good start in the scoreboard, at least for the Sheffield Steelers. So perhaps not really deserving of a 2-0 lead at this stage. But the Fife Flyers are on the power play. It's the Sheffield Steelers player in the box. And what can they make of the man advantage? Nothing at the moment. In fact, they could be called on a short-handed play now as Matulik goes down the ice. Matulik gets the shot away. He missed the pipes by very much, but now they give us a chance to Smale to set the play up for Morrison. Smale's shot doesn't need any assistance from anybody else. The man with over 600 games in the National Hockey League, to his credit, gets Fife on the board on the power play. Just over 15 minutes gone. Left hand, left wristed shot by Smale into the corner of the net. Now Fife back with Smale again. A bit of a break on perhaps here with Morrison. Morrison's shot blocked by Martin Mackay. They'll come back out. Tommy Plummer trying to force it further out. Smale trying to hold the puck in the zone. As was Gordon Latto moving forward. Now just a speculative shot on range, just trying to test out John McCrone. Derek King will make the clearance for the Fife Flyers. Force back in around the back of the net. There's Millie on the chase. There's Cranston. Opportunity opening up, and to finish it off, Les Millie. No! John McCrone makes a good sliding stop for the Fife Flyers. Well, he didn't know much about it, but did well to get himself between the puck and the goal. Here's Nemeth. Cranston having a good old battle to try and dig the puck out. One back by the Fife Flyers. Morrison. Smale. Cute angle, but Martin Mackay had that covered all the way. Now with Chris Kelland coming out of defence for the Sheffield Steelers. Chases on for Les Millie. He'll get there first as well. Needs some support to arrive in front of net. Here it comes from Kelland. Kelland will let one go, and Les Millie just looking to tap the puck in. High passes Ron Shudra, so back has to go Steve Nemeth to start the move from deep within Steelers territory. Here's Tim Cranston. This one starts to accelerate. We'll walk through brick walls for you. Ron Shudra shot. The defenseman turned forward. Does it again for the Sheffield Steelers on the power play. 17 seconds to go till the end of the first period. Tim Cranston sets him up. Ron Shudra finishing it off. Second period, and it's all been Fife Flyers really up to this stage. And the Steelers trying to open up a little bit more of a gap. Scott Neal around in front of net, and the Flyers perhaps with a chance to break away. Collision taking place in centre ice. Matulik chases forward. Cranston just waiting in behind the play. Morrison will pick it out for the Fife Flyers. Back towards halfway. Morrison still waiting for the puck to arrive with him. Here he comes. Mark Morrison one-on-one. Slides it underneath Martin Mackay. Got a ricochet off his pads. The Fife have pulled it back to 3-2, courtesy of that goal from Morrison. The assist probably will come from Doug Smale, who set him up. And the Steelers' defence call out of position by Morrison through the legs of Martin Mackay. So, 3-2, different story altogether now. The Steelers are going to have to watch out because defensively they've looked a little bit and sound at times in the early stage, and here they are caught again. Morrison again, 2 for him in a space of what, 13 seconds. Fife have gone from being 3-1 down to being back level at 3-3. And good work by Morrison, took his time, and despite the efforts from Shudra, scores his second, Fife's third. Cranston, Scott Neal on the far side, Matulik chasing onto it for the Steelers. Cranston, taking with Jordan Latto, and we're going to follow up late on from Matulik there. It's all 4 down, and Early seemingly wants to get hold of the puck and bring it out. Cranston watching off the back of the skate, and Cranston picks up it now. Calland, Cranston pulls back down there. Oh, there's a bit of a set 2 going on with Tulik's in there, Shudra's in there, Cranston underneath all that lot, Derek King as well, and Les Millie. Meanwhile, Bobby Brown coming into the picture, he's been involved, and Nico Tooman is saying you're off. The instructions and the indications from Tooman are that Bobby Brown has gone. He doesn't like it, he doesn't want to go, but he's going to have to go, and Tooman is telling him, you're off. That's it, you're out of the game. Bobby Brown doesn't want to go, Tooman is instructing him to go, and Alex Dampier just looks. King across the ice for the Fife Lions. Back in defence at the moment, Scott Neal is trying to dig it out for the Steelers. One Shooter's coming in to help out. Scott Neal gets it to Shooter. Shooter with Kellan waiting in behind the play. On the back of the Steelers net, will clear quite some way. Had a good chance for a chase on for Tommy Plummer. Couldn't get onto it this time. Neil Smith. Players have the option of giving it to Ryan Kumu. They don't decide to take that option this time and just force it down the ice. So Chris Calland to collect for the Steelers. Drop pass for Scott Neal, helping out back on defence. Here comes Scott Neal. Still Scott Neal. Getting that one bounce back off the boards. It's Tommy Plummer! Big smile for the little man. Huge delight for him, and indeed for the Sheffield Steelers crowd, because the Steelers have taken the initiative again and they've edged back in front. Tommy Plummer makes it 4-3 to the Steelers. Steelers looking like they're just coming back into the game after a fairly dodgy first 10 minutes in the second period. Matulik looking for it. Here's Smale, making a bit of room for himself, just fanning on it, then gets a shot away, which Martin Mackay sees pinging into the plexiglass behind the back of him. Cranston. Matulik. Still Matulik. Shooter on the turn. Still bobbling around. And Cranston again for number 2 for him. And the Steelers number 5 of the night. And the second power play goal. They had a 5-on-4 situation there, and they made it count. Well, once again in the right place at the right time. Tim Cranston, Shooter a shot. The ricochet came back. Could have been Matulik's, but in the end it was Tim Cranston who forced us home. Millie. There's King. That's the Stephen variety, not the Derek variety. And back on defence for the Sheffield Steelers. Big Ron Shudra has bypassed everybody. No icing call. The indication from the linesman on the near side. The Steelers will chase forward. There was Shudra trying to make some room for himself. Morrison, very dangerous in this game. Mark Morrison for the Fife Lions, but they've given the puck up to Cranston. Matulik. Not controlling it the first attempt, but gets it now. Look for his infamous wraparounds, perhaps. It's a lot of work. Then Shudra. Shudra, Millie out in front. Lost his helmet, still Millie, and is it Millie who's got the final touch? I think it is. Oh, the look on his face speaks volumes. There's Millie. More than a little bit delighted with that power play goal. Real little scramble around the net. John McCrone couldn't get a piece of it. As Millie eventually does, control it well. and took the finish beautifully. 6-3 then to the Sheffield Steelers. Into the third period. There's Millie, already scored one for the Steelers in this game. Crone just watching it, I guess there's a danger accruing. Nemeth, then Shudra with the long-range effort. He goes sliding to the ice just after he'd taken that. I think he's okay. He's back up again on his feet. Ryan Kumu chasing forward. Scott Neal is looking for the pass to arrive with him from Shudra. Now Tommy Plummer. Still Tommy Plummer. There's a shot coming in from Steve Nemeth. He has such a deadly shot from that range, and I don't think John McCrone saw it until after it had passed him into the corner of the net. Lovely little drop pass. Whack. There it is from Nemeth. Goal number 7. Scott Neal. Ivan Matulik. Czech-born Sheffield Steelers import. Played a lot of his time with the Edmonton Oilers farm team in North America. Fife haven't given up on this game as yet. There was a good chance opening up there for Neil Smith out in front of net. He didn't take it, so the Steelers can clear through Cranston. This is Matulik again. Matulik driving to the net. Great goal. Oh, it nearly was. That was a good stop by John McCrone. It looked for all money like that was in, but it is now. Tim Cranston. That's how they celebrate a hat-trick. His third of the night. The Steelers, number 8. They've opened up a 5-goal cushion here, which could be very vital in the playoffs. You thought for all money Matulik was going to score then, didn't you? But if he can't, Tim Cranston will for you. He gets the puck. And that's number 3 for him. Celebration time. Fife still backing away. Any goals they can bring back now will be very crucial for the return fixture in Fife. Ryan Kumu. Keep Morrison pretty quiet so far. Oh, it was a great chance there for Smith. He just couldn't control it and get the shot away. Stephen Lynch for Fife. Calland. There's Millie. Offended by John McCrone. He tried to go on the turn and get the shot away. That's Captain Ian Robertson, but that's the end of the game. 60 minutes of ice hockey elapsed to the Sheffield Arena. And a good start for the Steelers in the playoffs. They beat the Fife Flyers by 8-3.
On the same evening, Murrayfield travelled down to Humberside. It was to be a tactical battle of the coaches. Peter Johnson versus Rocky Saganuk. This was to be playoff hockey at its very best.
Racers in red were looking to the league's top scorers, Tony Hand and Chris Palmer, to get them away to a good start, and it was Hand who opened the scoring. The Hawks' response came courtesy of a good finish from Anthony Payne to level it at 1-1. Humberside edged in front, courtesy of some good work again by Payne behind the net, and he fed Kulikov in the slot for number 2. Anthony Payne had a stormer, and here's some more precocious talent from the former Young British Player of the Year. A real old mix-up in the Humberside defence, and possibly one of the flukiest goals you'll see from Chris Palmer to make it 3-2. Game-tying goals coming up, not one Brian Cox who want to relive, the initial shot dealt with, but not Dean Everston's follow-up. Maury Hansen won't be at all happy with his efforts in stopping Dan Dorian's bullet. Chris Hobson puts Brian Cox under pressure for the race's 4th. Tony Han in position again for the rebound. Another gift here as the race's defence give Mike Bishop an invitation to shoot. He says thanks very much. Alexander Kulikov helps the Hawks through most of the stages of this goal. He starts the move, gets the puck back again, and unselfishly lets Sean Johnson take the credit. Neither defence was coping too well with the forward threat. Now it's Richard LaPlante's turn. The Racers clawed their way back to 6-6 as Frank Morris opened his account for the night. But the decisive strikes are coming up now. Mike Bishop's big boomer for number 7. And finally, the mercurial Dan Dorian on his night as good as any import, and here he shows us why. 6 and a good start to the playoffs for the Humberside Hawks.
Whilst in Group A, it was the Cardiff Devils 8, the Durham Wasps 2. Hilton Ruggles led the way with 2+2. Whilst in Lower Parliament Street, the Nottingham Panthers got the start they needed. 4-2 victors over the Whitley Warriors. The following evening, Whitley entertained champions, the Cardiff Devils. It was a game the Warriors needed to win. Nicky Chin, however, had different ideas.
The first few minutes have belonged to the Cardiff Devils, and now they're setting up the move again with the first chance. Kevin Dean is smothered, and the first goal of the evening goes to Nicky Chin for the Cardiff Devils. Kevin Dean unable to really help out matters. By the time Rick Brabant had taken him out of the play, Nicky Chin scoring for the Devils. A real battling display by both sides here. Neither side wanting to give any advantage away in the opening match of the playoffs, as Whitley are trying to make the move down the ice. Martin King getting into position, but the Devils will bring it away again. Just guarding it down the ice on left wing, Nicky Chin. There's Rick Brabant chasing round behind the back of the net. Paul Matthews for Whitley Warriors through the middle. On the chase goes Scott Morrison. Arriving in the centre for the shot is Martin King. There's the leveller for the Whitley Warriors, coming on 8 minutes and 8 seconds. And a good move started with Matthews, continued by Scott Morrison down the left wing. And in the centre, Martin King, good finish. Still 1-1 between the Cardiff Devils and the Whitley Warriors. And 2 points at this stage would give a very positive and good start for whoever can get the advantage in this match. Here's Rick Brabant, scorer of 209 points during the course of the season. And there's a great opportunity for Hilton Ruggles, who doesn't let those go too often. He's weighed in with 176 points this season, including 100 goals. That's 101 for Ruggles this season. Very difficult ring to get anything out of. The Cardiff Devils have found that often in the past to their cost. The Warriors are a battling team who more often than not make Wembley and do pretty well there too, falling at the final hurdle a couple of times over the past few years. There's Brabant for the Cardiff Devils. On the chase goes Hilton Ruggles, didn't miss by much. Warriors do have a problem, it's on defence and they're finding it hard to clear again. Another one in range of Kevin Dean's net, but we cleared by Graham Ord for the Whitley Warriors. Now, head down, charging to goal, Scott Morrison. Terrific finish by Scott Morrison. Back after injury and showing he's lost none of his skill. Maybe not the quickest import in the league, but once he's got his head down, you try and stop him. Forcing his way from the blue line, not going to be held off by Shannon Hope. Simon Leach for the Whitley Warriors. Scott Morrison will start the rush from behind his own net. Guarding the puck down the ice quite nicely at the moment, the Warriors. And that's a good smothering stop made by Jason Wood, who's in GB contention. Getting his whole body in behind that very firmly hit shot. Tyler Rata winning the face-off for the Whitley Warriors. Back to Big Mike Grove. Will let one go from long range. Too many bodies to get through to get in range of goal this time. There's Doug McEwen. McEwen to the far side, Nicky Chin. They're working well together, those two, and a good finish too from Nicky Chin. He's really started to show some form. 100 points in the season, 51 goals. And there goes number 52, and most of them assisted by Doug McEwen during the course of the season. Devils in front by a goal, but it's very, very close. Kevin Dean just trying to get the puck away with his stick. Brabant following in. Rata will hold him off the play. They're trying to clear their zone. Not quite sure what to do with it at the moment. Morrison goes down, and meanwhile at the other end of the ice, something involving Tyler Larter. He's having a bit of an exchange of views with Rick Brabant in the corner. The referee just having a check some of the players surrounding him. Will all be sorted out. Brabant will go for a couple of minutes, so too will Tyler Larter. Just readjusting his clothing, and just have a little bit of a breather before he comes back into the action. Ruggles winning the face-off, but the Warriors have it back again. Still a goal behind in this game, but they're certainly keeping the champions pegged back. Trying to work their way through the middle with Leach. Leach looking for the shot. He's got a touch in. I think David Longstaff was involved. Just getting the tip in into the corner of the net. Again, good work by the youngsters in the Whitley Warriors. They're going to have a very good team in years to come, and just starting to show a bit of fruit from their efforts over the last couple of years. Ruggles waiting in the middle for the pass. In Cooper, Brabant still bobbling around. Kevin Dean hasn't got a clue where it is. Tyler Larter will complete the clearance. Now chasing forward is Martin King. King with an open net. Jason Wood had come so far out of net, you couldn't even see him in the picture. Martin King, great finish. Looked up, wasn't put off by Jason Wood advancing towards him. And just kept his head, looked up at the goal. In the back of the net. Just trying to get a bit of a march on Whitley now in terms of the pace and... Well, those opportunities don't get missed too often by Hilton Ruggles out in front of net. Kevin Dean must be wondering where the defence disappeared to. Well, they're all caught up the ice, as you can see from that move. Nobody there to protect him, and there was Ruggles' clinical finish again. Longstaff, which is won by the Whitley Warriors player. Back it comes towards Steve Brown. A pretty quiet game really for the Whitley Warriors. Pucked in through the middle, Doug McEwen gets the touch. It's been given by the referee on the far side. I think some of the Whitley fans and perhaps some of the Whitley players thought it hadn't got in. But despite the protestations of Martin King, it's another goal for the Cardiff Devils, and that's their fifth. What do Whitley have left in their locker to fight back? Paul Matthews breaking out. Graham Ord. Forced back in though. Micro will have to chase. Kevin Dean just holds it up for him behind the back of the net. So Micro likes to charge forward. He's got a lethal shot when he lets it go. Here's Scott Morrison. Just forcing it through. Here is Scott Morrison with a shot. His second of the night. And they're back on level terms. It's 5-5. That goal coming 7.5 minutes from the end. Morrison getting the pass through. Tyler Larter supplying it to him. And upstairs it goes from Morrison. Well, this will be quite an upset if Whitley can hold this to 5-5. Ruggles looking for the pass out in front. Here it's made down the ice, so roughly set up by Cardiff again by Jason Wood behind the back of the Cardiff Devils net. That's Stephen Cooper. Giving it to Rick Brabant for the rush. Larter's trying to pull him over. Mike Rowe's trying to stop him in his tracks as well. Rowe does well initially. Jason Wood being put under a bit of pressure, but the clearance will be made by Shannon Hope. And Sutton Ruggles, Brabant. They try and pull Ruggles down. They do pull Ruggles down. It's long stuff, but play continues as Tyler Larter makes the clearance. Physical game. Both sides not willing to give an inch. And everybody closely marking everybody else. Now, Brabant has got a bit of room to operate down the right. Ruggles is waiting for the pass in the centre. He'll get the pass now. Perhaps it'll follow through. And there's a shot coming in from Stephen Cooper, who's moved out of defence up into attack. And there he was for the ricochet. Defenseman who you can always count on for a lot of goals during the course of the season, and he finishes them off well. 6-5 to the Cardiff Devils as we enter the last few seconds of the game, last minute of the game, as it's forced back in by the Warriors. Trying to mount a bit of an attack. Longstaff, can he find his way through? It's stopped somehow by Jason Wood. I don't think he knows how. But now's a great chance for a break on for Rick Brabant. Brabant, open, empty net. Finishes it off with an empty net goal. 4 seconds remaining on the clock. It's 7-5 to the Cardiff Devils. 2 very valuable points. Rick Brabant says thank you very much. Last few seconds. Cardiff have got the 2 points they're looking for. We'll be looking up at the clock, everything's been played in slow motion. That's how it finished. 7-5 to the Cardiff Devils. They're on their way to Wembley.
Elsewhere in Group A, it was the Durham Wasps 6, the Nottingham Panthers 4. Mark Morrison's 5 goals helped the Fife Flyers to a 13-3 demolition of the Humberside Hawks. And the Richard LaPlante hat-trick secured an 8-7 victory for the Murrayfield Racers over the Sheffield Steelers on the 4th of April. All teams were now level on 2 points from 2 games. We join the Sheffield Steelers at home at the Sheffield Arena as they take on the Humberside Hawks. These teams have had absolute superb battles all year long. And this is, of course, the middle weekend of the playoff action. And one team, the Steelers or the Hawks, could be out of these playoffs should the other team pick up both victories. The Steelers, of course, in Humberside tomorrow evening. Steelers captain Ron Shuger got them on the board. A bullet past Brian Cox. 1-0 Sheffield, only 120 seconds gone. Ron Shuger shot out of defence, found Steve Nemeth. Nemeth went one-on-one with Brian Cox. Cox seemed to get a little bit on that one to me. Comes back to Les Milley. Milley will shoot and score. It's 2-0 Sheffield. It's another packed house at the Sheffield Arena. Les Milley playing the puck out of his defensive zone. Tommy Plummer's got it. Nice little drop pass from Plummer. Picked up by Shuger. Shuger will let it go to Nemeth. Just outside the blue line. Let's one go. Cox hasn't seen it. It's 3-0 to Sheffield. And that 3-0 lead, well, it stayed that way till the end of the first period. We're in the second period now. Peter Johnson's Humberside Hawks need to do something special. In Dan Dorian, they have a player that at times can be very, very special. It's to Dorian they'll surely look to. It's Anthony Payne, though, just behind Mackay's net. Dorian's out front. Dorian shoots and scores past Martin Mackay. It's 2-1. Mackay doesn't look too happy with his defence after that goal. Anthony Payne was to go from goal provider to goal scorer. Again, it's that man Dorian behind his own net, creating most of the havoc. If Dorian performs, it seems that the Humberside Hawks perform. If Dorian doesn't perform, then the Hawks are in problems. Here's Alexander Kulikov. Anthony Payne and Ron Shuger involved in a tussle there. Payne gets away from Shuger and the puck rebounded off Martin Mackay. Anthony Payne picks the puck up and it's 3-2. The Hawks back in this one. Here's Nemeth. Long shot, takes a deflection. Here's Milley out in front, but Mike Bishop seems to get enough of it to poke it away. Here's Milley still behind his own net. Tries to get it back to Steve Nemeth, can't do so. Humberside struggling to clear the zone. Here's Plummer. Plummer finds Nemeth, top of the circle. Nemeth lets one go. Oh, it trickles past Brian Cox. Tommy Plummer has a word with Brian Cox as well to make sure he knows it went in. But the Steelers open that 2-goal margin up again. It's 4-2 now. Here comes Humberside. That man Kulikov again. Kulikov, oh, he loses control there. Here's Ronnie Shuger. He's got an absolute bullet if he cares to use it. From here, he lets one go. Cox has got it. No, he hasn't. It's 5-2. And that bullet from Ronnie Shuger surely will collect the 2 points for the Sheffield Steelers. Well, the fat lady hasn't sung yet. It's not all over. Here's Scott Neal. He leaves it. The shot comes in. Cox really didn't see too much of that one. Neil Abel goes to clear his own defensive zone. That play's picked up, though, by Sean Johnson. He finds brother Anthony. Anthony, first save made by Mackay. Johnson picks up the rebound. And it's 5-3. It's not all over yet. But the Steelers fans have that countdown as they go top of their playoff group with the second victory of their campaign. Top of Group A, of course, was the Cardiff Devils, already on 2 victories. If the Nottingham Panthers, however, could pick a second victory up against the Devils, that would surely make them favourites to go to Wembley with the Devils. Well, we join it early in the first period. It's always a battle at Lower Parliament Street. Nicky Chins with the puck. He'll feed it here to Doug McEwen. He'll go to his backhand and find the 5-hole. Beats David Graham. It's 1-0 Cardiff. 2 minutes and 5 seconds gone. Nottingham press forward, but here come the Devils on the counter-attack. It's Rick Brabant. He has a bit of rough treatment there from Perry Doyle and Ashley Tate. Here is Doyle. Doyle tries to clear his zone. Pass is intercepted by Hilton Ruggles. Comes out to Brabant. Brabant on Graham. Goes forehand. 2-0. 16:58 gone in the first period. And the Panthers now trail the Devils by 2-0. Panthers, however, are now on the power play. Here's Andre Marlowe. Marlowe finds Rhodes, wrist shot, beats Jason Wood, it's 2-1. What a super goal by Nigel Rhodes, picking up that pass from Andre Marlowe, and the Panthers back in it. We're into the second period now. As I said, it's always rough and tough with the Devils and the Panthers. Premack rubbing his nose in it there. Who's he got? He's got Hilton Ruggles. Marlowe's there as well with Ian Cooper. Strange to see him in the crease, isn't it? Ian Cooper. Simon Murray, though, pushes them apart. Ruggles and Premack haven't finished. So Ruggles and Premack, together with the 2 linesmen, Andy Carson and Simon Murray. Nico goes to have a look. No blood, no loss of life. Back into the action though, and it's the Cardiff Devils on the power play as we join it. Here's McEwen, lets one go, beats David Graham. He looked a little bit unsighted there, but it's back to a 2-goal margin. It's Cardiff 3, Nottingham 1, McEwen second. Straight from the face-off then. And it's Premack and Doyle playing defence. Here is Doyle on the backhand. He looks in trouble though. He's lost it to Chin Chin on David Graham. And again through the 5-hole of the big Geordie, David Graham. And now it's 4-1, Nicky Chin unassisted. Nottingham on the attack. Can Cardiff clear the zone? They can, only as far as Premack though. Lets one go. Oh, it's found a way through Jason Wood. Oh, he won't be happy with that one. Ashley Tate found Garth Premack, and at 28-12, a blast from outside the blue line. Drags Nottingham back into it. Nottingham haven't looked too good defensively in this game so far. Here's Cooper. Cooper back to Brabant. Premack's all over him though. Brabant gets the puck under control. Brabant gets it out to Shannon Hope. Hope lets one go through David Graham. And did Ruggles get a tap in on that? The referee didn't think so. He gives the goal to Shannon Hope, assisted Brabant and Cooper on the power play at 31-53. Into the third period now. Nottingham need a good third period. Puck's dumped down. In goes Randall Webber. Premack's got it. Premack tries to turn, he slips. Here's Ruggles. Ruggles skips inside. Is that McEwen or Brabant? It's Rick Brabant, and he makes it 6-2 at 41-23. Assists going to Cooper and Ruggles. Well, Nottingham in big trouble here. Here they are on attack. Comes out. Premack's got it. Big shot from Marlowe. Is it Rhodes who gets a tap in? It is. Nigel Rhodes gets his second of the night. Marlowe and Lambert will pick up assists, and it's 6-3, 43-10 the time. Nottingham looking to get back into this game. Big Paul Heavy's the defenceman. He makes the interception. Play up the other end of the rink now. Here's Waghorn. Tries to clear the zone, can't do so. Comes out to McEwen. McEwen fires one past David Graham. It's 7-3. Dougie McEwen unassisted. And that McEwen unassisted goal saw the back of David Graham. Stephen Butler now in nets for the Panthers. Here's Ross Lambert. Lambert lets one go. Is it going to trickle past? It looks over the line. Lambert thinks it is. Nico Toman doesn't look too sure. Graham Waghorn looks unhappy. Nico goes to check with the goal judge. Yes, Toman decides it's a goal. The Panthers back in at 7-4. 50 minutes and 46 seconds gone. That hard-working Lambert. Assist there going to Randall Webber. Here's Nottingham again. Shot comes in. Wood got a bit of that one. Here's Webber again. He's working hard. Gives it to Lambert. He's come from nowhere. Hope standing still. And Lambert fires one back to Jason Wood. Gets his second straight at 55-43. 7-5 of the Panthers still in this one. Well, it wasn't to be. The Nottingham Panthers just ran out of time. Some superb net mining from Butler in that third period gave the Panthers a chance. But as the hooter went, Cardiff picked up their third victory. The Cardiff Devils 7, the Nottingham Panthers 5. Whilst elsewhere in Group A, Whitley Warriors demolished the Durham Wasps 9-2. That impressive defenceman Steve Brown picking up 3+3. Whilst in Edinburgh, the Five Flyers in front of over 3,000 beat the Murrayfield Racers 5-2. Well, it's Sunday night now, and we've made the trip with the Nottingham Panthers down to Cardiff. The Panthers versus the Devils in the Welsh National Ice Stadium. Well, the Nottingham Panthers have got Stephen Butler in goal at the moment. He played superbly well last night in Nottingham, coming on for David Graham. And with the Panthers only having 2 points from the 3 games played, they really need something from tonight's game in Cardiff. A tough place to come. Let's see how they get on. It's Stephen Cooper behind his own net. Puts Shannon Hope in a bit of trouble. Here's Ross Lambert, comes out to Premack. Garth Premack, the Spengler Cup defenceman, gets the congratulations from Perry Doyle. And just the start that the Panthers needed. 1 minute and 29 gone. You'll see great work there from Ross Lambert. Nothing really Wood can do about that. Puck comes loose and there's Garth Premack. Fires into an almost empty net. You see the clock ticking down. Here come the Panthers again. Simon Hunt. Panthers winger fires it round the boards. Picked up by Hilton Ruggles. Puck with Brabant. Comes back out to Ruggles. Ruggles has still got it. Shoots, scores! Hilton Ruggles levels it at 1 apiece. Stephen Butler looked a little bit unsighted then. I think Andre Marlowe was just in his way, but the Devils have tied it at 1. Didn't look too much that Butler could do about that one. Let's have a look again from behind the net. Rick Brabant leaves it out to Ruggles. The Ruggles looked like he'd lost it, didn't he? Then he got it back, let it go, through the 5-hole, yes, and Marlowe just standing in Butler's way. Picks up all that rubbish, doesn't he? Hilton Ruggles just in front of the net. There was Stephen Cooper. So Ian Cooper, wasn't it, in his normal place? Back with the action. Here's Brabant again. Brabant finds Stephen Cooper. Good save by Butler. Puck comes back out to Cooper. Devils on the power play. Fires it to Ian Cooper. Lets one go through a crowd of players. And the Devils take a 2-1 lead. Ian Cooper on the power play, assisted by Rick Brabant. And Stephen Cooper, I think, will pick up an assist also there. 7:47 the time of that goal. Ian Cooper makes his way back to the bench. Well, we have another look. Puck will come back out from Brabant. You'll see crowd of players. Lambert goes down. Ian Cooper lets one go. 2-1. The Devils jamming the net there in front of netminder Butler on the power play. Well, from there you couldn't see too much of it, could you? Back with the action. Here's Brabant again. He's everywhere tonight. Brabant versus Waghorn. He leaves Waghorn for dead. Lets one go. Butler was committed. Rick Brabant makes it 3-1. What a signing for the Cardiff Devils since he left Durham. He had all those years up in the northeast. A disappointing last year in Durham. Cardiff, though, still knew he had it. Look at the way he leaves Waghorn for dead there. Wrist shot. Butler committed, as I said. Ruggles, of course, waiting for any rebound that might be coming. Rhodes really left him, didn't he? Rhodes left his wingman. Here's Brabant, though. And he had no trouble slotting home. Still in the first period with Ruggles. Here's Stephen Cooper. Cooper dumps it down, still with Ruggles. Waghorn goes to inspect. Puck comes back. Here's Shannon Hope. Lets one go. Deflected. Ruggles has got a tap in. And it's 4-1 at 14:23. On the power play, Hilton Ruggles. That's his second goal of this period. Second goal of the night for Ruggles, assisted Stephen Cooper. And the second power play goal for the Cardiff Devils. Let's look again. Shannon Hope, the big two men on the point. Hope lets one go. And Ruggles just gets enough on it to change the puck's direction underneath Stephen Butler's legs. We'll get a better view from this angle. They play it about nicely, don't they, Cardiff? Here comes the shot from Hope. Bingo. Hilton Ruggles just gets enough, just gets that tapping. Into the second period. Just the start of the period. Jason Wood makes a good stop. Here comes Nottingham again. Puck comes out. Oh, it's fell to Ruggles. Ruggles over the blue line. Looks like he's going to shoot. Does. Bullet. 5-1. And I think that's good night Vienna for the Nottingham Panthers. Stephen Butler didn't look like he had much chance with this one. Let's see where it goes. Just over Butler's left shoulder. Really, it was the strength of the shot, the speed that beat Butler there. Doesn't look the smoothest skater in the world, does he, Ruggles? But when he gets going, just lets that shot go. Like I said, it really was the speed of that shot. 5-1, Butler. Really, perhaps wishing David Graham was in between the pipes tonight. Back to the action. Here is Shannon Hope. Hope leaves it to Ruggles. Ruggles drop pass just over the blue line. Brabant. Oh! And Stephen Butler will be very disappointed with that one. 6-1. Brabant second. Ruggles will pick up an assist. So will Shannon Hope. And it's turning into a nightmare for the Nottingham Panthers. A weakish wrist shot. I don't think it was anything more than that from Rick Brabant. And you can see the look of despair on Steve Butler's face. Well, Coach Mike Blaisdell last night had David Graham in, and he pulled David Graham at the start of the third period. In went Butler and performed heroics, but Butler's not having it all his own way tonight. Behind the Cardiff goal, Nottingham, can they make anything of this? Here's Jean-Marc Thwaite. Premax there as well. Puck beats him though. It goes to Stephen Cooper. Goes now to Brabant. Cooper's waiting for it. Gets it. Fires it under the body. Butler. It's 7-1. And as the music plays, don't worry. I think that's what Coach Blaisdell and the Nottingham Panthers are doing right now. I think it's all over for them at just 24:37. Stephen Cooper assisted Brabant and Ruggles, and really those two, Brabant and Ruggles, are collecting points for fun tonight. Butler just line over the ice for that one. We're only 5 minutes into the second period, 7-1 the score already. Here's Ruggles again over the blue line. Still got it as Ruggles. Gives it to Ian Cooper. Cooper will rim it round, finds Ruggles again. Brabant's waiting for it and gets it. Hat-trick goal for Rick Brabant. 8-1 at 25:50. Ruggles and I think Ian Cooper will pick up an assist as well. Captain Paul Heavey comes to celebrate. That young lady looks interested as well. As her hero, Rick Brabant, gets his hat-trick goal for the night. Right through Stephen Butler again. Not a lot he could do about that one, in fairness. Is Brabant a goal? Dear me. All the way through Stephen Butler. 27:56, and in fairness to Butler, the defence doesn't seem to be putting up too much of a show in front of him. Dougie McEwen, straight from the face-off, back to Brabant. Let's have a look at it again. You'll see McEwen win the jaw, gets it back to Rick Brabant, and wallop. Back of the net. I think Stephen Butler will be having a quick look over the shoulder, hoping that Davy Graham's making a bit of movement on the Nottingham bench. Doesn't seem to be at the moment, and there's still over 7 minutes left. Ruggles goes down, Primack tries to take him down, Ruggles seems to escape, gives it McEwen, one times it. 33 minutes and 1 second's gone. Hope and Ruggles will pick up assists on that Dougie McEwen goal. It's amazing last night, you know, because Nottingham Panthers, especially in that third period, really looked like they were getting to grips with the Cardiff Devils. But tonight Cardiff have come out, as we see that Dougie McEwen goal again, and absolutely steamrolled the Nottingham Panthers. You know, they're 9-1 up here, and Ruggles has still got the determination to keep going for more. They've just killed a penalty, just 2 seconds into even-handed play, and bingo. So here come the Panthers again. Randall Webber's got it, heats it out to young Mark Twait, and he brings the goal back at 33:09. 10 goals to 2. Randall Webber and Simon Hunt will pick up a secondary assist on that goal by young Twait. Good work from Webber behind the net, worked hard, fed Twait, 26, bingo. And Jason Wood didn't seem to see an awful lot of that, did he? Closing stages then of the second period. One the Panthers will want to forget. Here's young Neil Francis, gets the puck across to Townsend, over the blue line, top of the circle, lets one go and he beats Butler. 11 goals to 2 in favour of the Devils. 35 minutes and 59 seconds gone. And the third line get a goal for the Devils. Took it very well, didn't he? Picked it up nicely on the backhand, drew it in, looked up, wallop. I think young Butler thought he got it as well, but he went straight through him. Anyway, we're into the third period now. Here's Ross Lambert. He never gives up, but even he must be feeling like the weight of the world is against him. Stephen Cooper. Brabant, here's the Brabant. Is this another one? It is. Goal number 5 for Rick Brabant. Always look on the bright side of life there, playing over the tannoy. I don't think Stephen Butler would see it quite like that. You see, Ruggles doing a great job in front of the net, but really, in fairness, Butler saw plenty of it. Brabant again. It's just one of those nights that you get against the Cardiff Devils when they're firing. Ian Cooper picked up an assist on that goal. Looked like Stephen to me. Anyway, here we go again. Here's Brabant, here's Ruggles. Puck will come back out. Just out of view at the moment. Here's Ruggles again. Brabant on the power play. Here's Ruggles, backhand, shoots and scores. It's becoming a mockery, an absolute mockery, and Mike Blaisdell, I would imagine, he's absolutely livid from this performance from his Panthers team. If they want to make Wembley in 2 weeks' time, they've got to pick the game up from this. Taken far too many penalties tonight, and the Devils on 5-on-5 are hard enough to beat. 5-on-4, 5-on-3, it's not impossible. Look at the way they just take the time, wait for the chances. Here's Ruggles. Butler's made that commitment right through the 5-hole. So into the last 10 minutes now. This game can't really expire quick enough, can it, for the Nottingham Panthers? Here's Ruggles again. Ruggles to Hope. Brabant. Well, number 6 for Rick Brabant. Stephen Cooper and Shannon Hope will pick up assists. Looks all in a day's work, doesn't it, for Tricky Ricky? Good work again on the power play. Here's Ruggles. Fires it across. One-timer from Hope, and then bullet. One-timer again from Rick Brabant. Good save from Butler. That time off Ruggles. Rhodes follows him round. But they're just chasing bodies at the moment to Cardiff. Brabant again picks up his own rebound. Butler had made a good save, hadn't he, to stop the first one. Could do nothing about the second one. He was lying for straight. Brabant comes and picks his own rebound up. And that's another goal. Goal number 7 of the night for Rick Brabant. It's 15 goals to 2. And it looks like it'll be a long walk home for the Nottingham Panthers. Yeah, Brabant's good stop from Butler. Made a good stop, but like you say, overcommitted then. Nothing Marlowe could do standing on the goal line. Well, John Lawless will be a happy man, won't he? What a superb performance tonight from the Cardiff Devils. They're just killing time now. Tate it was there, I think, who got the puck up to Premack. Premack's going to go in alone on backup netminder Ward. He does, he shoots, he scores. And he makes it 15 goals to 3. But Garth Premack knows that that goal won't make any difference. Took it nicely. Takes the puck under control, gets it down, takes a look up. Quality player, Premack, just had one of those nights tonight. Well, with just 5 seconds now left remaining on the clock, it'll be John Lawless that's singing in the showers, and it'll be Mike Blaisdell that'll be drowning himself in the bath, I would have thought. What a great performance by the Devils, 15 goals to 3. Whitley earned a 5-5 draw in Durham, scoring 3 unanswered third period goals. Steve Brown tying it late in the game. 4 points from captain Ron Shuja was enough to ensure a 5-2 Steelers victory in Humberside and make them favourites for a Wembley slot. Second game of the weekend at Kirkcaldy due to ring problems in Murrayfield, and 3 goals from NHL veteran Doug Smale gave the Flyers a 6-5 victory. Final weekend of the playoffs, and the Warriors desperate for points if they are to make Wembley. Despite 3 late Whitley goals, the Devils hung on for a 10-9 win. The Panthers started this weekend 1 point behind both Whitley and Durham. 4 points from Ross Lambert and a 6-4 Panthers win saw Nottingham leapfrog over them both. A game-winning goal from Tommy Plummer at 58 minutes dead was enough to ensure a 5-4 victory and a first Wembley appearance for the Steelers. The Racers were hoping for a Flyers victory over the Steelers, so their 15-5 win over Humberside in Livingston was purely academic. So it was party night in Sheffield as they celebrated their Wembley appearance in style. Let's join commentator Bob Ballard.
The Steelers first off with driving to the net, Ivan Matulik. He'll be picked up by Chris Calland. Dumped back in by Neil Abel. Following through his Cranston, looking around the front of the net for the pass. Scott Neal gives it to him out the front. There's Ivan Matulik. Goals have been a bit hard to come by for the Czech, but he's back on the board, and the Steelers open their account. 1-0 to the Steelers. And the Murrayfield defence picking up perhaps the wrong man in front of net in the end. Forehand tries to work his way out from behind the back of the Racers net. They have very little to play for in this game apart from pride. Neil Abel dumps it in. They get themselves in problems again, and there, on hand as he so often is in those situations, Tommy Plummer to convert for the Steelers, who make it 2-0. Tommy Plummer just forcing his way into net. Steelers have already taken this game by the scruff of the neck. Scott Plews to clear for the Racers. And Hand gets himself into a right old tangle again, and Cranston beats Shudra right out in front of the net. Should have put that one away. Cranston will try and build it up again. On the turn, Scott Neal, who makes no mistake this time. Shudra will feel he should have put it away at the first attempt. I think he's telling Tim Cranston that, but Scott Neal does convert. Shudra so deadly normally from this range, you would have thought the ricochet would have gone in, but Scott Neal gets it. That's Palmer. As the Racers try and keep it down the Steelers' end. Tony Hand, the top scorer in the league, trying to force his way through the net. Shot from Tony Hand, it beats Martin Mackay. And the Murrayfield Racers, through their top scorer and captain and inspirational player, at last get themselves on the board. No chance of Martin Mackay, though. Did get a ricochet. Palmer just takes his man off the puck. Millie into the slot. But away come the Murrayfield Racers. They've got a 3-on-2 break if they choose to use it. Arriving LaPlante. LaPlante hasn't buried it. It looked like it was going to the left-hand corner of the net. Great save from Mackay. As ever present as any of the Steelers players in the building at the Sheffield Arena, Elvis, who's not yet feeling content enough to leave the building. The slow but steady build-up from the Steelers from behind the back of the row. That Matulik. Good pass, picks out Scott Neal. Scott Neal thinks about driving to the net. Loses it, but Cranston has it. Not quite on range this time. Looking for the wraparound. Scott Neal is thwarted at the first attempt by Hansen. But there's the shot from Matulik, his second of the game. Hasn't had too much to celebrate of late. His goal-scoring touch has eluded him, but he's got it back tonight. And got it back, it seems, with a vengeance. Scott Neal couldn't get it in. And there's Matulik with more room and more time. Paul Hand just dumps it into the corner. But Martin Mackay goes around the back of the net, and here comes the breakout from the Steelers. They've got men well positioned. Kelland hops the puck towards his own blue line. Now, a 2-on-2 break for the Steelers. Matulik with Cranston moving into position. Cranston will take up station in front of the net and gets the shot away. We've seen that play so many times from the Steelers this year, and there's nobody better at that sort of range to convert than Tim Cranston. Out in front of net. Good interplay between him and Cranston. And Matulik and Cranston provide another goal for the Steelers. Steelers having to just watch themselves getting a bit too carried away in this game, but Kelland gets the puck across to Big Ron Shudra, and a booming shot from the defenseman. Just showing what he can do with it. Not quite on range this time, but he'll have another go from just inside the blue line. Instead, feeds the puck out in front of the net, and the easiest of easy tap-ins for Les Milley, a couple of inches from the line. Couldn't miss from that range, and didn't. A power play goal for Les Milley. Steelers just drawing away from the Murrayfield Racers. Tim Cranston. Cranston left to, but he's going to take a shot. Just missed the right-hand pipe of the Murrayfield goalie. The puck still bobbling around and bouncing around behind the back of the net. Still could be anybody's. Cranston having to back check towards halfway. Here come the Racers, trying to formulate a rare attack up the ice. Shot coming in from Palmer, who'll follow it in. Tony Hand waiting in behind the play. Steelers haven't cleared as yet, but now they might. On the far side is Neil Abel. Hasn't scored this year, he has now. What a shot from the defenseman. It's taken him to the final game of the season before Wembley to score. But that's as good as any goal you'll see all year. Takes the stick all the way back in the wind-up. Could have been one of his famous shots on the golf course, but this time it was in the back of the net. Look at this from Neil Abel. Matulik. There's Milley just hovering around, waiting for the pass. Shudra. Here is Milley. Reverse pass to Matulik. Shudra let one go. Boy, does he let one go when he lets it go. And the Murrayfield Racers defence, not the most sure of the season in this league. Really are very porous tonight. Shudra does a Neil Abel. Goes into the other corner of the net this time. Change of goal is for the Sheffield Steelers. Martin Mackay makes way for Sheffield-born Andy Havenhand in between the pipes for the Sheffield Steelers. Steelers having to regroup. There are a few of their younger players out on the ice at the moment. Of course, Andy Havenhand just come into net. It's Paul Hand. Andy Havenhand telling where Chris Kelland should be. I think he knows for himself, but Tommy Plummer getting himself a bit caught up the ice. But now here's Cranston with Milley. Cranston's got round one. Looks to get round the second, but gets it back off the Murrayfield player. Reflexes and instinctive play by Cranston in front of net. Not an important goal, but another one to add to his tally. The top scorer in the Sheffield Steelers lineup. This really underlines why he's outgunned just about everybody else of his standing. Steelers now looking for double figures. They've scored 9. That's Hand. Andy Havenhand not too certain about that. And now Liam Young. We've got to play it rather than hold it in there because there's danger occurring for the Steelers. Shudra. Got Alan Haig waiting for the puck on halfway. Liam Young just advancing to halfway, but Shudra's lost it and the Steelers will have to get back quickly. Paul Hand. Juggling, it's Palmer. And Tony Hand moving into position, and the Murrayfield Racers score another one. A very sloppy goal this time as far as the Steelers are concerned, and Andy Havenhand won't be too pleased with that at all. And Richard LaPlante gets the final touch. Tony Hand against Tim Cranston in the face-off circle. The Steelers just trying to get themselves back into position, but Tony Hand has the puck. Lost it, now they've got it back again. Here's Palmer. And he Haven Hand again. Let's escape back towards his net to pick the puck out, because the Murrayfield Racers have scored 2 in less than half a minute. Palmer into the right-hand corner of the net. All of a sudden, the momentum switching towards the Racers, but they've got a lot of ground to make up. Steelers have a lot of daylight between them and the Edinburgh side. Here come the Racers again. Palmer waiting out in front of net. They've got to try and clear. Matulik looking for the pass down the ice, but doesn't get to him. It's still bobbling around. Tony Hand out in front. Still a chance. Palmer. His second of the night. And the third in a row for the Murrayfield Racers as they start their comeback. Still a long way adrift. But Andy Haven Hand again finding himself out of position when Palmer shoots and scores. That's off the chest of the Racers player. Now it's dumped in behind the back of their net. So Steelers just getting a little bit sloppy at the moment. That's Dean Edmiston. Mike Ware. Still Ware. Now they've tried to intercept. Instead it's Tommy Plummer who makes the clearance. Oh, the Steelers chasing down the ice. Here's Nemeth. Unselfish play from Nemeth, and a great shot, this time from the other wing from Rocket Ron Shudra into the left-hand corner of the net. And I don't believe Robert Black in the Murrayfield Racers net even saw that. Shudra, well, it was posthumous, that move, wasn't it? Steelers making it all so easy. Neither side has anything to play for apart from trying. Of course, a big crowd of over 9,000 here at the Sheffield Arena. Want to see more goals, and they may well do. Scott Neal looking for it, but he didn't need it. Tommy Plummer upended as he got the shot away. Ivan Matulik, in fact, it was, who points at the player who took him over. I think that was Plews, but certainly Matulik who scored the goal. His third, a hat-trick for Ivan Matulik. Got it away into the right-hand corner of the net. As Matulik comes halfway. That's Calland. Looking for his fourth, but dispossessed by Tony Hand back on the fence. That shot came from nothing. And this time, Tommy Plummer, it is, who picks up the credit. Another one of those boomers from him from the right wing. The right-handed shot. That bypasses Black in the goal. Tony Hand, captain of the Murrayfield Racers. Here's Calland. GB captain. Through to Shudra. What's Shudra going to do with this? Lazy play. Great finish, though. He can do it from all angles, at all speeds, whenever the need arises. And Shudra with another one to add to his tally of goals this season for a defenseman who likes to come forward. Tim Cranston. Tulik. Their old battle with Tony Hand on halfway. This is on for Chris Palmer behind the back of the net. Chance for the shot, which comes in, and it's Les Lovell. Doesn't score many goals for the Racers. He'll be happy to get his name on the score sheet in a game that's pretty meaningless, but nonetheless adds to his tally. Lovell took it well. Again, a ricochet of Andy Haven Hand. Up into the corner. It's big Mike Ware. It's another big defenseman. Ron Shudra. Calland. Steelers unable to clear their zone at the moment, and a long-range effort from LaPlante bypasses everybody. It's into the back of the net. Mike Ware may have got the final touch on that, but LaPlante is claiming it. We'll get more of a chance to see perhaps on the replay there. No, it bypassed him, just screening the keeper. Steelers break away. Neil Abel trying to catch Tony Hand. Hand slots it into the path of Mike Ware, who finishes it off. Nice move by the Murrayfield Racers. That silenced the crowd for a bit. A small Murrayfield contingent who made their way down from Edinburgh certainly enjoyed that goal. So let's try and set the play up again with Shudra. And let one go from this range, just dumps it in. Matulik. Across the face. Chasing in is Steve Nemeth. Oh, it's managed to scrape its way through. And would you believe it? It's Matulik again. Can't keep him off the score sheet tonight. There were those nights where if he had it game in, game out, he'd really get to grips with the game in Great Britain. ranging in on net. Shudra. It's Scott Neal. Lovely drop pass to Shudra. Shot then from Tim Cranston. Get out of my way, I want to celebrate. That's exactly what he's going to do. You try and stop him. Tim Cranston, another goal from him. They'll be looking forward to his goal-scoring touch at Wembley in a week's time. Steelers again having to do a bit of defending, but doing it quite effectively again. Oh, they've lost the puck. This time Andy Havenham, poor clearance, and that's LaPlante with what can only be a very late consolation goal now. 14-8 it is to the Sheffield Steelers as LaPlante scores the 8th of the evening for the Murrayfield Racers. But we're into the dying seconds of the game now. Racers season comes to an end here. The Steelers season continues on to Wembley.
It's all open in Group A with 3 teams chasing just one place. A win for either Nottingham or Whitley should be enough to see them through.
It took just 41 seconds for the game to come to life. Scott Morrison deciding Martin King was up to the task of finishing it off, and he did. It's the Warriors' defence caught napping for the Panthers first. They made a hash of clearing the zone. Premack keeps it in, Ashley Tate helps it on its way, and Simon Hunt scores. Ditto number 2, all attempts to clear prove fruitless, so Nigel Rhodes put an end to Whitley's misery in the end, out in front of net. Second period now, and you're getting used to this. Warriors, their own worst enemies, nobody wanting to take control. So, it's Randall Webber from Premack who decides to have a go. 3-1 to the Panthers. Now, the Whitley fight back. Perry Doyle has now caught the home side's bug. Morrison pounces, and eventually Tyler Larter delivers. This is what Scott Morrison is so good at, and hopefully will do for Great Britain too. Leaves everyone for dead, and again it's Larter to convert on the rebound. Try, hard though it may be, to keep your eyes on the puck here. Phil Butler sets it up. Ross Lambert gets dumped down on the ice, and Nigel Rhodes is there on hand to pick up on the loose spoils to make it 4-3 to the Panthers. Into the final period, and Whitley turned defence into attack. Steve Brown setting Tyler Larter on his way, and once he's got at that end of the ice, it gives David Graham no chance. Another length of the ice move from Whitley, which underlines their never-say-die approach. Not to be for Terry Ord on the first occasion, but Steve Brown doesn't stand on ceremony to make it 5-4 Warriors, now less than 10 minutes away from Wembley. Now for the real sickener. A penalty should have surely been called on Trickett's charge on Rowe. Webber is then set clear. Dean denies on the block. As Warriors try to clear, it hits the linesman's skate. Bounces back to Premack, who sets up Randall Webber for the flukiest of equalisers. Panthers sneak through to Wembley with a 5-5 draw.
With that 5-5 draw in Whitley, a Wasp victory over the Devils would send Durham to Wembley. Chris Norton levelled the scores inside the last minute, but it wasn't to be, and Nottingham go through. Third draw of the weekend was in Humberside, where the already Wembley-bound Fife Flyers picked up a share of the points. We asked Racers coach Rocky Saganuk on his thoughts for Wembley and his own disappointment of not making it himself.
It's hard to visualise not going to Wembley. I've been with 2 teams and gone to Wembley 3 times with those 2 teams, and I really felt this was the year we're going to go again and have a good chance to win the whole thing. It's amazing, you know, when circumstances happen that happened in Murrayfield with the finances, dispute with the rink, being thrown out of your rink and getting back in, and then been thrown out again for the last time for the playoffs. It affects people, and as an athlete and working with a team full of players, mentally you have to be prepared. All it takes is just something like this to come along and throw a fraction of your mental preparation out, and things that happen on the ice turn into big frustrations rather than just problems. They become frustrating, and that's basically what happened the last 2.5, 3 months. We became very frustrated with outside things that happened to this team and affected the player on the ice. Cardiff's got a good hockey team. They've proven it all year long. They've been right from day one. After the Benson Hedges, they really picked it up. I probably have a lot to do with that by getting on TV and calling them a bunch of losers at the time, but they weren't playing well. The Rick Rabance and them were not on their game. All of a sudden they woke up the sleeping giant and they really started playing some good hockey, and they well deserved to be the champions of the league at that time. They're playing good hockey right now. They got a lot of strength in their British guys. When you have, they've got 3, 4 British guys in Chin and Coopers, the 2 Coopers, and Lawless. I mean, those guys all score 40 and 50 goals for them this year, and that helps to have that much depth. They're going to be hard to beat. They are beatable. Good teams can get frustrated in a one-off game. You never know what can happen. Fife is a hard-working team. They've got a lot of youth on their team that have a lot of stamina, and they just outwork you. They keep working and keep going. They play a very defensive game. Their imports in Smale, Morrison, Kumu, and Smith are not real fantastic players, flashy guys, you know, but they make a lot happen. They're very good leaders on that team. There isn't one import that says, well, you know, we stop him, that'll do it. All 4 of those guys lead in certain ways, and they brought along their young players, the Wilsons and the Smiths and Lynches. They're all playing on power play, penalty killing, and they're successful with their young players. And I believe in using your youth, and if you have enough for 3 lines, use your 3 lines. If you have enough for 4 lines, use 4 lines. Develop them, give them that opportunity to play. Fife's proven that. They're going on their way to Wembley because they've done that all season long, and they're a very well-disciplined team. Sheffield here, they've got a lot of speed in their team. They work towards the net really well. They're a very well-balanced team. I'd say basically they are probably the best balanced team in the league for 2-line hockey. They got probably the 2 strongest lines in the league, without a doubt. The thing that we used to have success against Sheffield on throughout the year in our building and over here at Almost Win was we worked their defense really deep and tried to get the puck in and make them try and chase the guys in the corners, and we went up against some of their experience, I guess. You figure Chris and these guys, they're all aged on a bit. Great shape, give you 100% all the time, but what we thought was we'd try and wear them down as much as we could and try and get success out of it, and it seemed to work. We kept the puck down low on Marty, went for the rebounds, and we wound up getting some wins and making the games close here, and that's what we always went to try and do, is put pressure on them. But I can see them rising to the occasion. Tim Cranston last night played a great game in Fife. He was a guy that was hurt, yet he came up with 3 big goals for the team. He led the team along the way, and that's what Sheffield's made up of. Just when you think you've got him, all of a sudden one of these leaders comes along and plays an outstanding game for him. Ivan Matulik up in Fife, he says, I couldn't score any goals. I wasn't quite putting it in. But his work ethics by driving to the net and always putting pressure on their defense and so making them back up made Fife have to start 180 feet back in their zone. So I'm sure we're going to see at Wembley, we'll see Sheffield playing the same way, really putting a lot of pressure, using the speed and the big size that they have, the strength, driving to the net and trying to collapse the other team's defense to make mistakes. It comes down to goaltending, just how strong the goaltending is for Whitley. If their goaltending's on target, they're a tough team to beat. I'm saying that Mike Rowe's got a lot of experience on the defense. He knows how to clear the front of the net, and he knows how to move the puck up the ice. The catalyst, though, is Scotty Morrison, his speed and his stamina, and how he can make a nothing play turn into a scoring opportunity is something that you have to key on all the time. They're a team that the underdog teams are the ones you have to watch out for. They're the guys that all of a sudden you get 3 lines all geared up and ready to go. They're the team that can come out from nowhere, be down 3 goals, and next thing be winning 4-3. And then you're so frustrated, wonder, well, how the heck did I get in this situation? And you start scrambling yourself, and you get playing their style of hockey. And their style of hockey is a run and shoot offense. They just go, and they try. They don't care if they have 8 goals scored against them as long as they score 9 the other way. Or if they had 14 against them, as long as they score 15. And that's the kind of style that they play, and they get you trapped in that style, and then they can beat you. I always said Nottingham I looked at them this year and I thought, if this team doesn't get to Wembley, there's something wrong. Their depth in their British players is immense. They've got a lot of good young players sitting there that can play the game, and they're big guys too. They like to play a good physical style of hockey. They're well disciplined as far as a defensive game in their zone. They got a good goaltender in Graham, who's nice and big. He blocks shots in there, and they get their big defense to clear things out. They're going to hurt without 80. you know, if they had Paul in the lineup, they'd be a team definitely with a good chance to win Wembley. And not an underdog team, but a good chance to win it. Struggling without him, he's a key player. He's another one of these Smales that makes things happen, and he's a real leader out there. When he's going, the whole team follows along behind him. And unfortunately, he's not going to be there for Nottingham. But I would say that they're probably a better dark horse than Whitley at a place like Wembley. I think that with their depth in their British scorers and their British players, I think that they'd be a better underdog bet. I hope somebody else wins it this year. You know, I'd like to see an underdog win it. Just make more into the league that, like, we won the Benson Hedges, Cardiff's won the league. Maybe have somebody else win the league, the Wembley Championships, and just have 3 different winners throughout this year. So it would make it interesting for the fans all the way through.
So as we all headed down Wembley Way, the question on everybody's lips was, could the Cardiff Devils take the double, or would Fife, Nottingham, or even the fans' favourite Sheffield, upset the Devils' dreams? It's the first semi-final, and favourites Cardiff take on the Fife Flyers. Could Fife coach Jim Lynch pit his wits against Devils boss John Lawless? It was mouth-watering. Brabant versus Smale, Stephen Cooper v Ryan Kumu. As I said, absolutely mouth-watering. Over to you, Bob.
And straight away, the Fife Flyers goal put under pressure is Ruggles. And on the clock, just 10 seconds have elapsed. And the first goal for the Cardiff Devils probably took a deflection en route, but Ruggles puts the Cardiff Devils on the board 1-0. Controlling centre ice mode. There's Brabant, but it's stolen away from his stick by Morrison. Chases on, hopes down on the ice. Morrison, good finish from the Canadian. Had a superb season for Fife. He'd love to round it off with a victory here. The puck around the front of the net because Stephen Cooper's there every time, and he makes the clearances. Ian Cooper, his brother, down right wing. John McCrone had the angle covered the other way, and Cooper saw a gaping hole and planted it right in the back of the net. Captain Ian Robertson. Shot from Latto just wide of the mark, forced back in by Derek King. Jason Wood's got under a bit of pressure, but now will be relieved by Nicky Chin. Doug McEwen to his left if he wants to use him. Here is McEwen, one-on-one with the keeper. Finish from McEwen. As good as you'll see anywhere. That man in a one-on-one situation very rarely misses, and McCrone knows that.
17, Nicky Chin, and 10, Jason Stone.
All Cardiff Devils at the moment.
06.
They're looking for the league and championship double. There's a good chance from Brabant. Goalie and defenseman screened by Ruggles, who took them out of the play, and there was Brabant for the finish. It's looking very easy now. 4-1. Good battle with Morrison coming away with it. Morrison dumps it in for Smale to chase. Smale just guiding his goal carefully. This is an opening. There is an opening, and there's Bobby Brown for the finish. Well, Fife have a lifeline perhaps in a rather unexpected quarter. It's 4-2. Here comes Brabant. Stephen King tried to hold him up, but he can't. Ruggles! His second of the night. And Cardiff just turning the screw. There's Brabant. Brabant's going to go all the way, little backhand shot. And then Ian Cooper on the follow-up off the pads of John McCrone. They're making it look very easy. 6-2 now. Stephen Cooper. Shot then fired back in. It's Ian Robertson who gets the final shot in. Alistair Reid just testing out Jason Wood. Morrison. It's in! Now how did that go in? Only Jason Wood probably knows. Brabant. On the far side, still Brabant, very strong on the puck. Ruggles, Stephen Cooper for number 7 on the power play, and the second power play goal. Smale just falling over the face-off circle, giving Ruggles a chance to come away with it. And once again, John McCrone's beaten on the far side. Trying to force their way back into the game. They certainly played better in the latter stages of this period, and they got shot away from nothing, and it's coming from Mark Morrison, and Bobby Brown is claiming it. Brabant Still Brabant, make himself a bit of space, looking for somebody in the slot. That person's going to be Stephen Cooper, who walks it in and blasts it in, top left-hand corner. The Devils are on their way. The final beckons against the Panthers or the Steelers.
We went out the first period just to shut them down. They have sort of offensive power in Smale and Morrison, and they can kill you on the break. So we were aware of that. But, you know, we got a few good bounces when we were ahead. We were always ahead. So, but they killed us on any mistake we had. So I think at the end of the first period, I think it was 6-3, which is a very high-scoring game. So we knew we just have to shut down our sort of mistakes, because the longer the game went, and the second period then was just 1-1, it benefited us. You know, I didn't care if we tied again in the third, because we had the 3-goal advantage. And so basically we took that lead right from the start, and we made them sort of open it up. And fortunately for us, they didn't.
You come out of these one-off games, you know, maybe we had a couple of soft goals, I figure, too, as well, which didn't help. And the timing of them didn't help, you know. And hockey's that way, a big save, or we put in a couple in that quick at the other end, the game turns around. So I thought the guys dug in really well, and we had a couple of 5-on-3s late in the second period as well. And you know, we didn't give up, and that's a great sign. So no, we're disappointed in losing, but I mean, I don't think we are as a club. We've come a long way this year.
If you look at Fife, it's Smale and Morrison that you'll think will do the damage. On our team, it can be any of a number of players, and they, on top of that, if they offensively, they all do a job well defensively. So we had a little bit more depth, and the only chances that Fife really had were through our mistakes. And like I said, we'll just have to cut them down tomorrow if we're going to be victors again.
Nottingham and Sheffield had built up a rivalry that had become obsessive. This game was more important than any other, to the players, to the management, and especially to the fans. To them, it was all or nothing.
Between the Sheffield Steelers and the Nottingham Panthers.
Very much cat and mouse in the early stages. Crancy getting the shot away. Nobody there for the follow-up. Long-range effort from Abel. Finds its way through. Did Matulik get a touch? I don't think he did. Neil Abel scores his second goal of the playoffs. He's trying to keep the puck down that end of the ice as well and as hard as they possibly can. Kelland. There's Tommy Plummer just holding into the boards. Ashley Tate, there's Chris Kelland. Now, Les Milley on the charge. Still Milley, long-range shot, beats David Graham on the short side, and the Steelers have a 2-0 lead with 9 minutes and 8 gone in the first period. Steelers really starting to exert some pressure now. They've got a little bit of a gap opening up. Ross Lambert's the sort of man who might just be able to turn that around for the Nottingham Panthers. Cranston goes in on the check. Scott following in. Matulik now on the chase. Got Tim Cranston waiting on the far side. Cranston with the rebound. Off the pads of David Graham. Celebration time for him, and indeed the lady in the front row. 3-0 Steelers. 9:56 gone on the clock. A very cat-and-mouse second period so far, with neither side able to break down the defence. Still 3-0 to the Sheffield Steelers. Les Milley tried to feed one of his own plays. Said found Garth Premack just behind net. There's Matulik chasing forward, kept in the zone. Shudra lets one go. Tommy Plummer gets the tip in. Big beaming smile all over the face of Tommy Plummer. Shudra set him up. Comes Tommy Plummer, just holding on to it. Les Milley arriving outside. Milley with the finish, yes! David Graham down on his haunches, down on the ice. The big gap-toothed smile of Les Milley. Nottingham Panthers just trying to force the pace now. They need something pretty quickly to get them back into this game. They'll not look too likely to score in in recent moments, but here's a good chance for them. He's forcing his way forward, Lambert, but now Les Millie's seen a chance, just eludes the skate of linesman Gordon Pirrie. Millie, hat-trick goal, 5 seconds to go before the end of the second period, and that looks to have wrapped it up now, surely. 6-0. Panthers haven't given up on this game yet, but they've got a very big mountain to climb. The defence of the Sheffield Steelers looked pretty strong in this game. There's a chance perhaps for them. But Steelers winning all the 50-50 pucks now. Defenceman's down on the ice. Tommy Plummer's going to go for it. No, he isn't. He gives it to Les Millie. A lovely little drop pass. Unselfish play by Plummer. Millie appreciates it for his fourth of the night. 7-0 now. Steelers on the power play. They have a man advantage. He's really handing this game to them on a plate. Ranson in the corner. Millie is there. Millie needs somebody to arrive out in front. Plummer's looking for it. Just bypasses his stick. Here's Shudra. Comes in again. Shudra in the corner. There's Cranston. To Shudra again. Plummer winds up and gives that some clout into the top right-hand corner of David Graham's net. That'll complete his night. Power play goal for the Steelers. Mike Blaisdell's face tells you all you need to know about the Panthers' performance. Steelers have done it at the first time of asking. Semi-final victors over the Panthers by 8-0.
You know, as Alex can attest to, sometimes if you when you get down and if you get that equalizer, then the boys lift a little bit, and then you've got a hockey game on your hands. But when you don't score and then they come back and get a couple more, then things just snowball from there. I guess it's not a nice way to end the season. I'll tell you, I really wished it would have been closer, but we'll just have to regroup, and we'll treat that one like it didn't happen. And because the boys, I was proud of them that they got here, and in fact, Port down, so we'll go on from here.
Well, Nottingham got, I think, probably, on their day, some of the best defense in the league. Cardiff is good at times, but they are suspect probably in the back. But they've got so much offensive thrust. It's you have to give them so much respect. I guess we'll have to be a little bit careful tomorrow and probably play a little more defensive type of game. Once you're down on Cardiff, you've got to open up. You don't have any choice because they're so strong, and they've got some good individual players. And Chin plays well. He's a good, strong player, and Ian Cooper's playing well. So you get guys like that on your team who are big, strong, and they have a real impact in the offensive zone. It takes its toll on your defense. I mean, it was a total team effort tonight. There's no question, and I think we got the bounces when we needed them. You don't win games like that unless you get the bounces, and tomorrow if we don't get the bounces, we'll be on the other end of it. You got to get them every game, whether it's one or two at crucial times. If you don't get them, you're out of luck. And Cardiff do create a lot of chances, and they get bounces. Everybody says they're lucky, but they work for their bounces, and things go their way quite often.
So it was the Cardiff Devils versus the Sheffield Steelers. First versus second in regular season play, and the final every neutral wanted to see. Would it be a classic? We'd all have to wait and see about that. But as the fans started to gather outside Wembley, that party atmosphere started to build up.
And it's Cardiff Devils! Cardiff Devils, they sing! We're the greatest team in hockey the world has ever seen!
Right, good heavens. And what's his nickname?
Shoots. Rocket. Rocket Ron Shoots.
Why do you call him Rocket Ron Shoots?
Because like a rocket.
It'll be close, but it'll be the Steelers. I'm sorry he's going to go home very disappointed.
Has he got the last word?
No. Steelers are going to win, definitely.
Devils.
There's only one winner today. That's ice hockey. Yeah, right. But yes, I'll agree with that.
We asked Steelers coach Alex Dampier what key ingredients was needed if his team was to upset the Devils.
I think goaltending. If we can get some solid goaltending, it's like any team. If you've got a good goaltender, you'll win it. We got big saves from Marty tonight, and that made all the difference in the world. Davy Graham is a great goaltender on his night, and he didn't get a couple of bounces earlier on, didn't go his way, and then it's difficult. He made some good saves later on, but you get a couple early breaks against a goalie, and like Bernie McCrone today had a couple of ones go in that possibly weren't his fault, but the fact is they went behind him, and then it's difficult from there on in. He has to really fight to get his concentration, and everything falls on the goaltenders at the end of it. The goaltender's to blame if it goes in, and when the goals are scored, the forwards are the heroes. So, you know, if you've got a good goalie, I think you can win the whole thing.
This is the final of the 1994 British Championship between the Sheffield Steelers and the Cardiff Devils.
Difficult to tell who's favourite for this game after their performances in the semi-finals. Both did it with great effect over their rivals. Perhaps the Steelers slightly more impressive. But there's Ruggles bouncing around, and there was Brabant as well. And it's going to be Ruggles to get the credit for the first goal on the power play, 2:16. Cooper, there's Brabant. Ian Cooper just in behind the play. Brabant forces his way to the net. Ruggles for his foil. Cooper bobbling around, bouncing around, and there's Mackay to make the stop, but the light is on from the goal judge, and the goal has been given. 5:03 into the game. That's Plummer. Just tries to kick it across, but can't this time. That's given Ruggles a great chance, and nothing Martin Mackay can do on the short side, and 17 minutes and 8 into the game. Second power play goal for the Cardiff Devils. 3-0 then to Cardiff. Very surprising scoreline after the way the semi-finals went, but they really are ruling the roost here in the first period. That's Nicky Chin driving his way to the net. Nicky Chin! Great finish from the young lad. 4-0 Cardiff Devils. We haven't reached the end of the first period yet. There's Pellant. Scott Neal. This one go, gets a ricochet, and then Nicky Chin will chase forward. He's got Doug McEwen down left wing. He might want to take it all the way himself. He does, and converts. What a superb finish from the youngster. He's really blooming, is Nicky Chin, and so are the Cardiff Devils. Cooper. Stephen to Ian. Rick Brabant took a bobble off Martin Mackay. It's not going to be his afternoon by the looks of things. 6-0 now to the Cardiff Devils. One-sided final. This is turning out to be much against expectations, but Doug McEwen, that's terrible goaltending by Martin Mackay. He's left the goal exposed. Luckily Neil Abel's back there. Shot from Cooper, and Mackay couldn't get back in position quickly enough. And Ian Cooper it is who rams it home. Just over halfway gone through the game. It's 7-0. Scott Neal. It's all falling apart for the Steelers. They just can't get two decent passes together. There's Matulik, wide of the mark. Shot then ranging in. Scott Neal just pops it over Jason Wood. And at last, it's taken 35 minutes and 23 seconds, but the Steelers are on the board. It's 7-1. Pushes his way forward, Matulik. Waiting behind was Chris Kellen, but the Devils come away, and here's Nicky Chin with a 1-on-1. That's his hat-trick. Despite Martin Mackay taking the net off its moorings, it was too late and the puck was already in. 8-1. It has been a very impressive performance by the Devils, not so much so by the Steelers. Now, here's Nicky Chin again. Doug McEwen. McEwen with a finish under the body of Martin Mackay. And McEwen, who's been provider, now scores himself. Doug McEwen on right wing. McEwen gets around the first challenge. He's going to slot it home, is he? No, he isn't, but Nicky Chin does. That's 4. No British player has scored 4 in a final before. There's Nemeth trying to get it away. Waiting for the pass back on halfway was Doug McEwen. Now, Nicky Chin. And the finish comes in. And it's another one for Doug McEwen. 56-54, 3 minutes to go. Now some of the Cardiff Devils youngsters are out on the ice. That was Lee Carson. Feeds it to Townsend. Townsend takes the shot. What a great afternoon it is for him. The teenager scores what could be the final goal, and certainly a 12th goal for the Cardiff Devils goes to Townsend. There's only been one side in this final. Last shot from Ian Cooper. And it's all academic now because it's 12-1. The Cardiff Devils add to the league title, the championship title for the second year running. And there's the man in the centre of your screen, Nicky Chin, who's done all the damage in this game. 4 goals for him. The presentation team are ready to present the championship trophy. That's the British Ice Hockey Association President, Freddie Meredith, who will give it to the captain of the Cardiff Devils, Paul Heavey. That'll go back in the trophy cabinet at the Wales National Ice Rink, where it's just come from, been dusted down. Now the celebrations can begin. Paul Heavey goes to show the trophy to the Cardiff Devils fans. They'll share in that. Rick Brabant, who's had success with the Durham Wasps here, and Hilton Ruggles and John Lawless. John Lawless, whose last game this is for the Cardiff Devils. He's been player coach this year, just showing how much this trophy means to him. Now it's Brabant's turn. Ooh, bit of a juggling act, but he kept the lid just about from falling onto the ice. Cardiff worthy winners, 12-1.
So, another year, another Wembley, and another Cardiff trophy. Well, for the rest of us, there'll always be next year, won't there? We'll see you again, I'm sure. Thanks for joining us at this look back on the road to Wembley, 1994.